Hey YouTubers. I had a reason. Had a fella make some comments, persistent comments, where he didn't understand what I was doing, and so I thought it'd be great for me to just touch base on the pressure and vacuum test. We as saw builders are responsible for making sure that our saws work. Uh, and if they fail early, it's, as long as it's not something that Farmer Tech screwed up or that we screwed up in the choices that we make. But the basic premise is it's our saw and we're totally responsible for it. We get to build it, and that's what we want. Now, for some reason, there is a lot of resistance to the pressure test, and it's a tool that you'll seldom use at first. But then when your trimmer has trouble or your blower has trouble, you're going to be able to eliminate potential problems, arrive at a solution, solve it yourself. But those are all good reasons, but I'm just talking about us building saws, and we need a way to test it, and the only way to do it professionally is to have a pressure tester. And I built my first saw and tried to wing it, and I didn't do too well. So I figured out that I would buy the cheapest pressure tester I could get, because all I needed the thing to do was build in hole pressure, build and or create a vacuum, and then show me the condition of the vacuum. And so you'd need a dial on it to do that. And so I found a cheap one, and it doesn't pump up real well as far as pushing the needle up the dial, but it does everything it's supposed to do, and so I'm happy with the cheap one. And I have solved a lot of problems with it. So let's just go over this testing thing, and let's use what we're building as a saw. And since I most recently worked on this and there's no fuel in the system, let's use the 660. And first, let's talk about the more complicated, well, it's not more complicated, but the more serious side of the pressure and vacuum test is the case integrity. And making sure that your cylinder is on like it's supposed to be, and not leaking air. And so that's an entirely separate test that we're going to do today, because that would require me taking the saw apart, and I'm not going to do it. But when you do that test, let me point out that you need to remove the decomp valve, and what you put in its place is this. Okay, you just screw that in, and because this thing will leak, supposed to, more or less. And then you can do your, you can check your seals, make sure your seals are holding, and you put a vacuum on it, and then either turn maybe your flywheel by hand or pull on the recoil, depending on how you can get to it. And read the manual and it'll, give you more information on that. Okay, so that's basically one part. Now the one that you're going to use most often once you get the thing built, and actually I can see you doing this 3 or 4 times over several years. I test mine periodically to make sure that nothing has changed, because this is sort of like having cancer. You don't know it until it's too late often. So there is a positive, the pressure, and then there is the vacuum. And on this saw, this is the vent that comes with it, and this releases, so your vacuum is released by this, and it makes sure that the saw runs right, that the fuel is provided properly, that everything's good. So the way I started out is I empty my fuel tank. Put your fuel in an approved container. Then I remove my fuel hose and I take my adapter, which it's a steel part. It's like $7 at the steel dealer. I'll put a part number for you in the below the video. And then I blow just with my lips, blow through this, and that knocks a lot of the fuel out of the filter so that it's not sucked up and gets in the inner workings of your. Okay, so once I do that, empty out any remaining fuel, and then close up your fuel. Okay, so we're going to do some pretending here because I don't have a leak. You remember what pretending is, right? All right, so I'm doing pressure. That's holding perfect. Okay, so if that was to go down, all right, the way I would do it is I would take some soapy water. The steel manual, I think, usually refers to oil, but I think that creates a mess. When sawdust gets mixed in with it, it makes it cling, and so I use soapy water because I can take my compressor and blow it, and it dries up, and there's no mess left. So I would spray underneath the carburetor there, where the elbow goes into the fuel line, connects here. And I would spray below the vent, and I would also spray around the cap. In one of these places it is going to bubble, because remember, we're pretending that thing's leaking. and then you know where to go to fix it. And then, because I am like who I am, I will want to verify that I fixed it. So I would fix whatever I had to fix, replace the grommet into the tank here, replace the elbow, put a new fuel line in, you know, whatever I had to do. And then I'd pump it back up and I'd respray it. I know that this may show, but I want to see that it's not, that it's, I want confirmation. So no bubbles makes me, you know, like really happy. Now, that as far as the pressure goes. Now, when we turn this into a vacuum test, this is where you're going to see different results. Okay, so on mine, I got to pull this ring forward and it puts it in vacuum. All right, now watch this. It's going to go on the other side. See it fall. That is perfect. That's exactly what the vent is going to do. Is it's going to release the pressure, and you don't have to walk off and get a cup of coffee and come back to get that result. If your vent is working properly, it's going to fall just like that. So you see, this is the opposite of the pressure test. But if they behave, now on this also, it either works or it doesn't. So if it didn't blow bubbles when you did your pressure test, then you need to just replace the entire vent. Pull it up and replace it. And of course, this is the vent. It comes with it, and it works fine. That one's on. That's another story. But this is the in the 660. Just real briefly, this is the grommet that this goes into, or this one goes into, and this, you know, makes the seal tight. So if you're blowing bubbles, or if the it could also cause the vent not to work. So, you know, just simply take this off and test it directly, and you'd need another this little cheap kit came with, you know, some different ones, and so just test this directly, and then you'll know where, you know, where you stand. But anyway, that's all it requires. And then when you're using your saw, you're going to have, you know, fewer frustrating times, and the saw should last a long time. And again, you know, you got just, this is not all that expensive, but think of all the work that you've done to your saw, you know, and for it not to last as long as possible, it's just, you know, I mean, it's just unthinkable to me. Okay, so that was the whole reason for that, was just to remind everybody of what we're doing and how this is supposed to behave. And one way of doing it, I'm sure that there are other things that you can spray on there, you know, that would do just as well. But there's no substitute for that test. That's just the way it works. Okay, so the chainsaw kit guy, appreciate you, and I hope that this was helpful. So please like and subscribe. Thanks.